Waking up, checking off the same damn boxes every day, but never really living? Something's off, but you can't quite put your finger on it. I'm telling you, you're not the only one. Most people don't even ask themselves these questions. They keep grinding, they keep pushing, but they never stop to ask, why am I doing this? What's the point of it all? Eventually, that question catches up with you. What's my purpose? You can try to ignore it, but it's gonna hit you hard when you least expect it. And when it does, you can either keep pretending it's not there, or you can face it head on. I'm not here to feed you some feel-good line or sugarcoat things. We don't do that. If you want answers, you need to put in the work. But here's the thing. Your purpose isn't out of reach. It's right in front of you, waiting. All it takes is taking that first step to figure it out. You don't need all the answers today, but you need to be ready to start looking. So here's the question. Are you ready to find out what you're really made of? You ever wake up in the morning, the world's still dark outside, and wonder, is this it? Is this all there is to life? You go through the motions, get out of bed, take care of business, maybe hit the gym, work, family, repeat, day after day, the same grind, but somewhere inside, something doesn't feel right. Like you're stuck on a loop, just going through the motions, with no real sense of direction. It's not that life's bad, it's just that something's missing. I've been there. We all have. You start asking yourself questions. Why am I here? What am I really doing with my time? Am I just taking up space? Or is there something more I'm supposed to be doing? Most people push those questions down. They're too uncomfortable, too real. But you can't ignore that feeling forever. The longer you run from it, the louder it gets. And one day, you have to face it. Because here's the truth. This isn't some philosophical question that gets answered over years of searching. You can start figuring this out today, right now. No waiting, no pretending. You can't control everything in life, but you can choose to find your purpose. You can choose to live with intention. And that's exactly what we're about to do. You think about your life, your day-to-day. Maybe it's the work you're doing or the relationships you're trying to maintain. You go through the motions, but at the end of the day, something's missing. You feel it deep down. It's that nagging voice that you've learned to ignore. You're not alone in this. Studies show that around 80% of people are walking through life feeling unfulfilled. 80%. That's a huge number. And the reason is simple. They don't know their true purpose. They're stuck, going through the routine, playing the game, but never really getting to the heart of what they're supposed to do. That feeling, that emptiness, it doesn't just vanish. It grows. Now, let's be real. Life is hard. We all have bills to pay, families to take care of, responsibilities that come first. But let me ask you this. When was the last time you asked yourself why you do what you do? Why you wake up every morning and do it all over again? Is it for the paycheck? Is it for the approval of others? Or is it because it's what you want to do? Because it's what gets you fired up, what gets you out of bed in the morning? For a lot of people, the answer is none of the above. And it's not because they're lazy or unmotivated. It's because they've never stopped long enough to find their true purpose. They've been too busy living someone else's version of success. And that's the trap. You start living by someone else's rules, society's rules, family's expectations, what everyone else thinks is the right path. And somewhere along the way, you lose sight of your own goals. This isn't just about being stuck in a dead-end job. It's bigger than that. It's about living a life that doesn't feel like your life. It's about waking up and realizing you're not making the impact you want to make. You're not living the way you've always wanted to. And let me tell you, it eats away at you. Day after day, you tell yourself, I'll figure it out later, maybe tomorrow. But deep down, you know it's only going to get harder to fix the longer you wait. That's why most people don't know their true purpose. They're too busy living for others, trying to fill a hole that can't be filled by more stuff, more success, or more money. You can't drown that feeling with distractions. It's there because you weren't put on this earth to just get by. You were meant to do something more. But you've got to be willing to fight for it. You've got to be willing to stop and face that question head on. What am I here for? And that's where we start. I get it. You've heard promises before. People telling you to follow your dreams, to find your passion, to to wake up every day and chase that purpose. And maybe it all sounds good in theory, but in practice, it feels like a lot of talk with no real plan behind it. I'm not here to feed you empty words. Here's the difference. In the Some Minutes, we're not just going to talk about purpose. We're going to uncover it. We're going to break it down into simple, practical steps you can follow, starting today. No fluff, no gimmicks, just real, actionable strategies that will help you discover your true purpose and start moving toward it. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not here to sell you some quick fix solution. Finding your purpose is a journey. It takes hard work, time, and a willingness to be honest with yourself. But the first step is simple. You need to start looking. You need to stop hiding behind distractions. Stop waiting for the perfect moment and just start. That's exactly what we're going to do in the next half hour. We'll go step by step, breaking it down so you can see exactly where to focus. You'll get clear on what you're meant to do, who you're meant to impact, and how to take action. Because here's the truth. Your purpose isn't some far-off dream. It's waiting for you to claim it, but you've got to put in the work. If you're ready, I'll show you how to get started. But don't think this is just some motivational speech. This is about taking control of your life. This is about making decisions that matter. This is about leaving behind the things that hold you back and focusing on what will move you forward. The first step to finding your purpose is simple. Look within. No one knows you better than you know yourself. All the answers you need are already inside of you. The problem is, most of the time, we're too busy looking at the world around us to notice what we've got going on inside. So let me ask you something. What are you naturally good at? What skills or talents do you have that you don't even have to think about? You know the stuff you can do in your sleep, the things that come to you without effort. What are those things? What are the qualities that make you stand out from the crowd? Think about it for a second. You might already know the answer, but maybe you've never really stopped to acknowledge it. And that's what we're doing here today, recognizing the things that make you who you are. Now, grab a pen and paper. I want you to write down 3 things you've always been good at. They could be anything: talking to people, problem solving, creating things, leading a team. No judgment, no hesitation. Just write down what comes to mind. What do you do that feels natural to you? All right, got your list? Good. Now let's take it a step further. I want you to think about how those talents have played out in your life. Maybe they've already helped you make an impact in your career or relationships, or maybe they've been sitting there, waiting for you to notice them. Take someone like Steve Jobs, for example. His natural ability to see technology not as something that was just functional, but as something that could change the world is what set him apart. He didn't just have technical skills, he had a vision. His talent wasn't just in designing computers, it was in understanding that technology could connect people in ways no one had imagined before. Or think about Oprah Winfrey. She had the talent to connect with people, to understand their struggles and share their stories. That talent turned into one of the most impactful media empires in the world. It wasn't just about being good at talking. It was about using that skill to help people find their own voice and make their lives better. So take a moment and think about your own skills. Where can they take you? What impact could they have on the world around you? Because when you understand what you're naturally good at, you'll start seeing where your purpose lies. This isn't some feel-good exercise. It's about being real with yourself, recognizing the things you've already got inside of you, and learning how to use them to make a real difference. And that's what we're going to do next. All right, now that you've figured out what you're naturally good at, let's get into something even deeper. What really gets you fired up? What are the things that make you lose track of time? You know, those activities that, once you're in the zone, nothing else matters. You could spend hours on them and not even notice the time pass. That's the kind of energy we're talking about. Here's the thing. If you're doing something that truly lights you up, you'll know it. You won't have to force it. It won't feel like work. It's the stuff you do that just flows. Whether it's creating something, solving problems, helping people. When you're in the zone, everything just clicks. So I want you to dig deep. Think about it. What activities make you lose track of time? What are those things you can't wait to get back to? The things that energize you, that keep you going even when the clock is ticking. It could be anything: sports, writing, teaching, building, designing, whatever it is, that energy you feel, that's the stuff that could point you in the direction of your purpose. Grab that pen and paper again. I want you to list 5 activities that really energize you. Don't hold back, don't judge yourself. Just write down the things you've done in your life that make you feel alive. The stuff that makes you lose track of time. No filter, just real answers. Now, this is where things start to get serious. Those things you wrote down, that's the fire inside of you. That's what keeps you moving when everything else is dragging you down. And here's the kicker. Your purpose isn't just about what you're good at. It's about what you're passionate about. It's about aligning what you're good at with what ignites that fire in you. Think about Elon Musk. The guy's a genius when it comes to technology and business, but what keeps him going is his passion for solving big problems, things like space exploration and sustainable energy. He could have made millions doing something else, but that wasn't enough. What fuels him is the idea of pushing boundaries and making a real impact on humanity. That's what keeps him going. So when you look at your list, think about how you can merge what you're good at with what excites you. That's where your real purpose starts to take shape. And I'm telling you right now, this is the real deal. The things that light you up are the things that will drive you forward. This step is meant to dig deep into the passions and activities that genuinely motivate the audience, with a practical exercise to help them reflect and discover what fuels their drive. Alright, so now we know what lights you up and what you're good at. But here's the next step. Who do you want to help with those talents and passions? Who needs what you've got? Because here's the truth. Your purpose isn't just about you. It's about others. You see, the real satisfaction comes from the impact you make. Yeah, chasing your goals is important, but what really brings fulfillment is knowing that what you do matters, that it's helping someone else along the way. Think about it. Who benefits the most from your gifts? Who needs your talents, your time, your energy, your insight? Maybe it's your family. Maybe it's your community. Maybe it's a larger group of people you haven't even met yet. But I'm telling you, when you identify who you're here to serve, that's when everything starts to make sense. There's something powerful about using what you've been given to make a difference in someone else's life. It's not just about success, it's about significance. When you're serving others, you tap into a deeper level of purpose. You stop measuring life by your own achievements and start measuring it by the lives you've touched. Take someone like Mother Teresa. She could have lived a comfortable life, just taking care of herself, but she chose to serve others, to give her life to the people who needed it most. The joy she found in service, the difference she made, it's a reminder that the real purpose in life often comes from lifting others up. And this isn't about grand gestures. You don't have to change the world overnight. It's the small things that count, the way you show up for the people who need you, the way you use your talents to make someone's day a little better. That's where the real impact starts. And once you figure out who you want to serve, you'll see your purpose taking shape in a way that feels right. So take a minute. Think about who you're here to impact. Who needs your help? Who can you reach with the gifts you've got? The sooner you figure that out, the sooner you'll start living with real intention. And that's when the magic happens. Alright, by now we've looked inward at your talents, we've explored your passions, and we've talked about the people you want to impact. But let's face it, this isn't going to be easy. If it was, everyone would be out here living their purpose, right? The truth is, there are always going to be obstacles. There are always going to be reasons to doubt yourself, to hold back. Fear, doubt, societal expectations. All of these things are going to try to stop you from stepping into your purpose. Society tells you to follow the safe path, the one that fits into the mold, the one that makes everyone else comfortable. But here's the thing. Your purpose isn't going to look like everyone else's. It's going to require you to step outside that box, to make moves that might not make sense to others. And then there's fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown, fear of what might happen if you take that leap and it doesn't work out. I'm telling you right now, fear is part of the game. But here's the secret. Every successful person you look up to has had to push through their own version of fear. And they're no different from you. They're just people who decided to keep going, even when they were scared. Think about someone like Oprah Winfrey. She grew up with a tough childhood, dealt with abuse, faced rejection, and had people tell her she wasn't cut out for the success she's known today. But she didn't let that stop her. She took every bit of that adversity and used it as fuel. She didn't let fear or doubt or the negative voices hold her back. She chose to push forward, and she turned her struggles into purpose. It's the same for you. The obstacles you face, they don't define you unless you let them. Fear is real, doubt is real, and those societal pressures are real. But none of that can stop you unless you let it. The most important thing you can do when you face those obstacles is to keep going. Push past the fear, ignore the doubt, and take action. Don't let anything or anyone tell you that you can't do what you were meant to do. The people who find their purpose don't do it without struggle. It's part of the process. So when you hit those roadblocks, and trust me, you will, remember this. They're not there to stop you. They're there to challenge you, to make you prove that your purpose is worth fighting for. And that's exactly what you're going to do. All right, we've done the hard work. You've looked inside. You've figured out what excites you. You know who you want to impact, and you've faced down the obstacles that are holding you back. But here's the truth. None of that matters unless you take action. All this talking, all this planning, it's just that, talking and planning. The real work starts when you take that first step. So let me ask you this. What's one thing you can do today? Not next week, not when you feel ready. I'm talking about right now. What's one action, no matter how small, that you can take today that gets you closer to your purpose? Maybe it's signing up for a course, having that difficult conversation, writing down your first draft, making that first call. Whatever it is, the point is to take that first step. Progress isn't about perfection. It's about movement. It's about momentum. If you wait until everything is perfect, you'll never get started. Perfection is a lie. It doesn't exist. You know what does? Progress. And that's what matters. Take a step forward today, even if it's small, even if it's messy. It's better to move forward and adjust as you go than to stay stuck in the same spot, waiting for the perfect moment. That perfect moment doesn't exist, but the moment to act, it's right now. Take someone like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He didn't wait for everything to fall into place before making his move. From being a football player to a wrestler, to one of the highest paid actors in the world, none of it came from waiting for the perfect opportunity. It came from taking small steps, even when he wasn't sure where it was leading. But with each step, he got closer to his purpose. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but I am saying that the only way to get where you want to go is to start. Don't let fear, doubt, or anything else hold you back. Don't sit around waiting for everything to be perfect. Focus on the progress. Every small step counts.